Recording. All right, welcome to the December 2nd regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission. We'll begin with a roll call. Vice President Boyle Roloff.
Here.
Commissioner Cobb.
Here.
Commissioner Dorf.
Here.
And Commissioner Cheslock is excused, and I'm Commissioner Bolton. So next agenda item is the approval of the agenda. You received that both emailed and in the packet that was delivered. There are no
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dorf, second by Commissioner Boyle Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Next item is approval of the minutes. There were several minutes contained in your package. The first one was from the regular meeting held December 2nd, and then the special meetings of September 23rd and October 8th for interviews. I'll entertain a motion to approve if there are no changes to those.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Cobb.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, we have approval of the minutes. President's report. We had a swearing in at the police department on Monday. It was great to be back in person doing those things. And we have 5 new officers and at least I think 2 more coming up in another couple weeks and maybe more. So that's good to get back and doing those face-to-face again and get some more staffing lined up for the police department. And with that, Chief Davis.
Well, thank you. I don't have a whole lot to report, but on the hiring front, as President Goldhahn mentioned, we swore in 5 new police officers on Monday, which brings us to 179 sworn employees in the police department. Unfortunately, we have 3 retirements happening on December 17th, which will bring us down to 176. But then we are anticipating at this point 3 new hires on December 20th, which would bring us up to 179. And so we'll need to continue our recruiting efforts well into the new year so that we can get up to full strength. Obviously, one of my priorities is to get us to as close to full hiring strength as we can, because going into next year's budget discussion, we want to at least have the vacancies filled that we have, and then we're going to be doing a lot of work over the coming year in preparation for budget season next year to look at performance measures and make a really good business case for council as to what we think that our resource levels ideally should be, understanding that resources are tight throughout the city and we have to live within our means.
Chief, remind us what is full strength? What would full strength be? The number?
That's 187 sworn. So we
187. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right. So we've got 8 vacancies now. With these 3 retirements, that'll put us down to 11 vacancies. But if we get these 3 new hires, we'll be back up to 8. But then, into 2022, there's always the potential for unexpected turnover in terms of retirements or other separations. And then another thing that I just like to try to put on everybody's radar is there's the total number of sworn officers, but I think it may be helpful, hopefully, just to touch briefly on the number of deployable officers. So right now we have 7 police officers in field training status, which means they are not fully deployable as independent workers out in the field. We anticipate 2 of those officers coming off of field training in December and becoming fully deployable, and then 1 in January, 3 in March, and 2 in April if everything goes according to plan with field training. So that gives you a sense of, not only are we dealing with around 11 vacancies once we have these retirements, somewhere between 9 and 11 vacancies, depending on how hiring goes. But then we're another 7 officers in the hole right now, just training up new hires.
Is that field training period, is that a set standard for everybody, or does it vary based on the experience of the officer who's coming in?
I'll defer a little bit to Jody and Ben for fine details on that. My understanding is that there can be some variance in it, but in general, it's safe to assume that when we hire a new person, it's about a year before they're fully deployable.
That's
year.
correct, Ed. Usually what we do is if they have a lot of experience at another organization, typically what happens is if they're from outside the area, it takes a little bit longer because they need to learn, the jurisdiction. They need to learn their way around the city. However, if they're from the area here, let's say Brown County, De Pere, that type of thing, they usually pick it up pretty quick, and we end up trying to shorten up their training period a little bit based on what their level is. And usually we go on the recommendation of their FTOs.
Mhm. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll go on with the agenda, and when Chief Luton signs in, we'll let him have his report. Next business item was the budget status report and the budget spreadsheet. In fire, there was no new spending. In police, there was $449 for pre-employment physicals. Any questions? Those items? All right, I'll entertain a motion to receive those and place on file.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Boyle-Rolla,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor to receive the budget status report and budget spreadsheet and place on file, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, and then there were a number of bills, all relating to physicals, background checks, and employment advertisement. Any questions on any of the bills? Not, I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Boyle-Roloff. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cobb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The next item is consideration with possible action on the request to approve the police sergeant promotional process. So in your packet was a one-pager from the chief indicating the proposed plan for that. Chief, is that any different than our current process?
Paging my way to that. I don't believe so. No, I think we.
Page, Chief.
Oh, thank you. We do want to make some modifications to the written test just to make sure that's updated and makes sense.
Okay.
And the assessment method is actually set forth in the labor agreement. So that's been bargained, the different components of that process.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Boyle-Roloff. Is there a
Second.
Good.
Second.
Was that Ed or Rashad?
Either one.
Okay. All right.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And so that will start up right after the first of the year, correct? Okay. Do we have current people on the list now? Or have we promoted all of them that were?
Yeah, there's nobody left on the eligibility list at this point. And we do anticipate some turnover at ranks that will trickle up. So no direct turnover anticipated of sergeants, but captains, lieutenants in that time. So this is in anticipation of vacancies.
Okay, all right. Okay, the next two items on the agenda are closed session items. They're two separate items, so I will read both of them. We'll go into one closed session, complete both of those, and then coming out of closed session, I'll report separately on the two. First item is consideration with possible action on, consideration with possible action on the review of patrol officer candidate backgrounds. The commission may convene in 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. The next item is interviews with patrol officer candidates. Please take note that pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes, the commission may convene in closed session for the purpose of interviewing, evaluating, and considering employment of patrol officer candidates. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session.
Motion by Commissioner Cobb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Okay, we are in closed session. All right, we're back in open session. While in closed session, we reviewed the backgrounds of 3 candidates. We chose to reject 1 candidate from continuing in the process. And then we conducted interviews with 2 candidates and chose to continue both of those in the hiring process. So I will entertain a motion to solidify that.
So moved.
By Commissioner Boyle.
And seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have unanimous vote. All right, next agenda item is setting the date of the next meeting. Our next normal day would be January 6th. So I guess we'll tentatively block that in as the date, and then if Jody, if you and Ben, if you have other interviews to do with it, say we should move it up or move it back, we can go ahead and do that.
I'll be out of town or in transit then. So
Okay, do you want to pick another date now, or you just want to go with the assumption that will likely move it anyway to fit in with candidate interviews? And
yeah, that's fine.
okay, all right. We'll do that. There are no public hearings. Again, reminder, we're scheduled next Thursday and the following Monday for firefighter interview. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Move to adjourn.
Oh, moved by Commissioner Boyle Roloff, seconded by Commissioner Dorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you all.